A man who can imagine and make anything from nothing with the power of his Green Lantern ring.
Yeah, he still uses his ring to make a gun, a tank.
He could time travel with his speed, blitz through land in less than 2.5 seconds.
I don't like to use like game gimmicks as a proof for power scaling because it doesn't really count.
This should be fun.
Now, if you know anime and you love to watch anime, you would know about Death Battle. They used to be called Screw Attack. They have a lot, and I mean a lot, of terrible matchups. They made Omni-Man vs Bardock, and they made Omni-Man win. I don't know what it is, but every time it's with Dragon Ball, Death Battle just hates it. They just want to sit on all the comics' dicks. So we're gonna watch that from Waves. Fuck Cell vs Metal Sonic. I don't care. Metal Sonic, comic Metal Sonic is so strong. Fine, but you could have at least made Cell in his first form and then leveled all the way up to his final form. And I have the same problem with Goku vs Superman. In the first one, Goku led up his transformations. It was Super Saiyan 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. And he was keeping up a good pace with Superman. But all of a sudden, in the third one, in Goku vs Superman 3, Goku amps all the way up to Super Saiyan Blue. Not even Super Saiyan 3 or 2. Like, come on, man. So we're gonna watch that from Waves. Oh my god, bro. Waves, please give me strength.
Death Battle is a channel I used to watch.
Hey, Waves is from the UK. Finally, a UK creator that doesn't post slop public interviews.
Death Battle is a channel I used to watch religiously ever since I first came across it on YouTube. I mean, some of the parents they would have on this channel were everything to me growing up. They were class. Fights like Sonic vs Mario,
Bro,
Crash
I remember
vs
this.
Spyro, Dante vs Bayonetta, Goku vs Superman. And
Goku vs Superman will forever be the biggest power scale fight ever. I remember in the 2010s, me and my friends in the playgrounds used to argue about it. I remember talking about it. I remember it was actually such a big argument at the time. And those guys didn't even know what Super Saiyan 3 Goku was because they only knew the show from Dragon Ball Z Kai. But I knew it from OG Dragon Ball from the games, so.
Even some peculiar ones that just make little to no sense, like Justin Bieber and Rebecca Black. I don't know what the hell the context is behind this.
Well, you freaking degenerates. Let me explain it to you, Waves. Waves, sit down, okay? So, the context is these two people were some of the most hated during the 2010s. You know, you couldn't go out one day in 2013 without a boy hating on Justin Bieber. It was like our soul, bro, it was my purpose. Everyone knows if you were alive during the 2010s and you were a minor back then, your sole purpose was to hate on Justin Bieber. Every single time. All the girls loved Justin Bieber back then, but me and the boys, nah. We wanted Justin Bieber 6 feet in the ground. We wanted him to be Justin dead. That baby, no. Oh no, baby, oh no. Shut your mouth, bitch ass nigga. Oh! Yo, my broken voice, give me some vocals. Yeah. And Rebecca, she made a song called Friday, Friday. Everyone want that Friday. We didn't like that. It was terrible.
But the point is that these type of fights Death Battle would produce was something just mad entertaining all the time. I mean, seeing some of your favorite characters spar against one another with analysis on both sides given context and a victor being decided at the end of it was just amazing to watch and just brings a bunch of people together who share a common interest in said.
Yeah, because it always felt like the official like matchup, but it obviously isn't because they made who did they make? Oh yeah, I gotta tell my camera. They made freaking. I gotta tell my camera. Turn around. Excuse me, sir. There must be something you confused me for. I can't just tell you who I am, and I just took a poo. Bro, they made Superman beat Goku 3 times, and they also, bro, they made Omni-Man beat Bardock. That's one I will never forgive them for. How can you let that happen? They didn't even give Bardock Super Saiyan 3.
Characters. It's community building. Like, don't lie right now. Their latest video with Cell vs Metal Sonic is a top 10 masterpiece for their channel. I swear to God, it was fire, man. My GOAT Neo Metal finally getting some respect. He won that shit from the moment he appeared right here. And then as soon as he said this,
I'll crush you.
It was up for Cell. But with all the fights Death Battle have made to keep us guessing on who's gonna win, giving deep dives into abilities and powers, and even showing
Groove vs Megamind was so terribly matched up.
Shit that we've never seen before. Let's just cut to it. They be bullshit when it comes to certain fights, man. Whether
they even forgot about Megamind's Metro Man super suit. How are you gonna forget about that? How? How are you gonna forget about that?
There's a contradiction in what they say or what certain characters can really do, undermining abilities to make others seem weak, or just blatantly giving out arse pulls so they can end the fights early and make it look terrible. Which I can kind of understand, because with this animation, that's gonna cost a fortune, man. Guys are broke out here.
Animation or not, bro, make the right characters win. Yo, I sound like such a dictator saying that. What the fuck? Who am I? Who am I?
They'll have their fair share of bullshit fights and accurate claims. I mean, at the end of the day, all of their fights are up for interpretation anyway, because you can't really compare two guys from two completely different worlds and make them scrap. It's not finna make sense.
Yes,
anyway.
you can.
Like right here, why is SpongeBob fighting Aquaman? What could possibly be the scenario?
Because they're both water types. That's why. That's why.
Behind this, did he go to the chum bucket or something? That's crazy. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to give my 2 pence an opinion on some fights I think from Death Battle are stupid. I love you guys though, man. So without wasting any more time, let's get into my first pick of the fights. Beginning with... Now, Knuckles
I forgot this one existed.
Will be one of the best fights on here when it comes to the animation. I mean, besides this evil, cursed-looking DK model, Lord, they made the guy look like a demon. Why are his arms so long?
He said.
But the combat, music, and sound effects of this fight definitely put it up there.
Oh, wait. Let's watch it real quick. I forgot what this one was like. I bet you they made Donkey Kong win because they just love Mario and we love being biased to Mario because it's so mainstream, but Sonic, no, it's not cool anymore. It's age verified? It's age restricted? How is Donkey Kong vs Knuckles age restricted? I guess I'll just have to take his word for it.
Reminds me of peak television I used to watch back in the day, like Super Mario Bros. Z, or the Final Fantasy Sonic game I used to play. Bro, I love the two.
Yes. Final Fantasy Sonic. Oh my gosh, bro. I'm so glad people know about this. I thought I was the only one that knew about Final Fantasy Sonic and Sonic RPG 8. The intros are so iconic, bro. Kimi no tete, kimi satite, onwaichi no kiwa. And Sonic RPG 8, but I never watched Super Mario Bros. Z. Fun fact though, sprite animations are some of the best arts of media ever. I mean, I bet that's how majority people find out who fucking Sonic is or Dragon Ball. I found out who Goku was because I saw a sprite of him and I was like, yo, I've seen this guy before. And I saw him from a YouTube animation and then I saw him from Super Smash Flash 2. Super Smash Flash 2, yes, that game. And then I saw like his face on a game in a shop called Kex, right? And it was Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi 2 and 1. And I was like, it's so cool, I want it. So yes, I actually played the Dragon Ball Z games before I watched Dragon Ball Z. But at the same time, I also watched OG Dragon Ball before I even touched the Dragon Ball game.
Animations, they're fire. And to me personally, with this Death Battle, the analysis and verdict of this video, it's some bullshit. I'm not gonna try and undermine DK's potential and abilities to come out on top here. The guy is very agile, can throw punches at crazy speeds, and even punched the whole moon down to Kong Island to finesse some Tiki monster.
But what do you think about his new design though? What do you think about his new design though? Like his new design isn't that bad.
Debate between who's stronger between him and Knuckles. He's also an A-class R&B singer too, so I think that contributes to it. But once I tell you this one thing about Knuckles, you look at it differently, man, believe me. Knuckles is stated to be as strong as Sonic is fast. Do you have any idea what that flipping means? Do you know?
Hold on, where's your source for that, Waves? Where is your source for that? Yo, do I smell lop? I smell lop. We need to fact check that, my boy. Pause. Is Knuckles as strong as Sonic is fast? Okay, so how come Knuckles lost to Shadow in the movie? Bro. I know why, because they're two different continuities. I know, don't try and educate me on this, but is Tails as smart as Sonic is fast? Okay, this is AI, bro, I don't know. These are fucking AI definitions. Why would I trust that shit?
And Tails, it means he's Bolo, fam. Sonic is a top 10 speedster in fiction, and I'm not even counting Archie Sonic, who absolutely dog walks like 9% of the Mario world. His video game version alone is fast.
I'm actually 90% of fiction. Yeah, just saying. Yeah.
Enough to be a part of this. He could time travel with his speed in Sonic CD, blitz through land in less than 2.5 seconds, and cleared an entire battalion of robots by just running through the...
I mean, like, when you say time travel, like, I don't like to use, like, game gimmicks as a proof for power scaling, because it doesn't really count. We don't see Sonic time travel on his own accords ever again. You know what I mean? How come he never did it in Generations? how come Sonic never did it in Unleashed? You know, you can't really say that that's a consistent power for game Sonic. You know what I'm saying, Waves? That's not wavy, bro. But you know what, the rest of your statements are bolo, fam.
He's sending guys flying with the way he runs. So with Sonic already being presented as a fast guy, if Knuckles is comparable in the strength department, how is he not stronger than Donkey Kong? I've only seen Donkey Kong have 1 feat before Bonanza, and that was just when he punched the moon. Meanwhile, when Knuckles was a kid, he knocked Sonic out of his super form. He punched the guy out of his own Super Saiyan form. And I've seen other people bring this up and debate the point, saying at this moment in his career, Sonic was still getting used to being in his super form and using the Chaos Emeralds. He was still a rookie when it came down to using them. Hence why Knuckles was easily able to knock him out of it by just...
I disagree. Bro, the creators making it... Stop doing this headcanon shit, bro. When the creators were making the game, they were not thinking that, well, this is the first time Sonic uses Super, so that's why we're gonna make Knuckles beat him up. No, they just did that so they can progress the story. Otherwise, there would be no story. You know what I'm saying?
Jumping. But that shouldn't take away from the fact that he knocked out what's literally shown to be invincible. You can't damage Sonic characters when they're in their super form. They're invulnerable. He's invincible. But Knuckles did it anyway, and he was a lot younger back then doing that shit. That feat alone, whether you want to count it or not, is enough for us to say Knuckles got it like that. He's tough. I guess you could say he's rougher than the rest of them.
Rest of them, tougher than the rest of them. Unlike Sonic, I don't chuckle. I'd rather flip my nipples. I'd rather flex my muscles.
And there's still so much to bring up. Donkey Kong is primarily a powerhouse, the muscle, the tank. He may be agile, but he's really not going to be as agile comparable to other Mario characters, like the plumber himself, who can jump like crazy. But Knuckles, for his small size, can beat the shit out of you, sending you flying like your Team Rocket. Ignite his giant punching glove hands on fire, and he's fast enough to definitely run circles around DK and beat him up with speed alone. The man keeps up with Sonic on a daily basis. He's got to get points for that. They even show you a little bit of how fast Knuckles is by him dodging all these coconuts right here as if he was in the Matrix.
I thought they were Donkey Kong's ball sacks. Fam, why does it look like his hairy nut sacks?
I know, I can tell by this guy's voice he's either Asian, Middle Eastern, or maybe Arab.
And when he was digging around DK, punching him like Spider-Man did to Thanos in Infinity War, Donkey Kong is too slow to react to it. They're showing you the man's capabilities. It would have been over if they counted speed as a deciding factor as much as power was the main deciding factor. Power here was primarily the main factor of who was going to win the fight. It's clear enough to see that. Look how aggressive the bangs these men are throwing at each other are. Going crazy.
There's no way Donkey Kong is stronger than Knuckles,
speed should have contributed a lot more here too. Even in their analysis, they brought up Jungle Beat, in where DK was punching at supersonic speeds too, but they didn't want to apply that as much here as they stated in their breakdown. And you can't have Knuckles weave it like he's doing the Dempsey roll and then proceed to let him get slammed like he did nothing. Like, I genuinely can't tell you how disrespected I felt when I saw Knuckles go out like this. You mean to tell me
Nah, bro, they turned Knuckles into toothpaste, fam.
DK just swatted him like he was a fly, like he was nothing. Knuckles didn't even do nothing. He just accepted his fate and got ruined. Like but he could literally glide out of this predicament. How does this even make sense? The coconuts hold this guy, man. Where did the last one come from? That's some bullshit. Looking back at this fight, though, I just think they undermined Knuckles' abilities and just solely went off who's presumably stronger. And they kind of ran with the whole punching the moon thing from Donkey Kong Country as their main strength point. They even decided to compare that to a time in Sonic X where Knuckles punched the moon and only a small part of it exploded. They must have been on some biased shit thinking just because DK punched the whole moon that he's definitely stronger than Knuckles. Like, no man, what type of crap is this? Something I've seen other people also do for this case is bring up Super Knuckles. And even though, yes, I agree that Super Knuckles would absolutely kill DK and take his life, in the fight, they were only in their base forms. So it doesn't even matter.
Are you dumb? Bro, it does matter. Knuckles was Donkey Kong. That doesn't, just because Knuckles has a super form, he should have won. It doesn't matter if Donkey Kong doesn't have a super form, that's Donkey Kong's loss. That's like Death Battle doing Goku vs Superman, but it's only base form Goku and base form Superman. But did they do that? No, they didn't.
I mean, what forms did DK have when they made the video anyway? Strong Kong. Get that shit out of here, man. I do think, though, if they decided to revisit this fight, it would be a lot more interesting. With the recent release of DK Bonanza, which shows off DK's new animal forms, like turning into a big-ass gorilla who's kinda caked up and can send shockwaves or punches out, a zebra who can run over water and can run headfirst into things. Like, bitch, DK has a snake form that can stop time. He's using chaos control. So to see a fight between DK's new forms and Super Knuckles or even Hyper Knuckles, that would be mad entertaining. But for what it's worth, I just think the fight wasn't scaled as accurate as it could have been. With Knuckles being one of Sonic's former rivals, going toe-to-toe against him should have been enough for them to at least think about that. Donkey Kong is strong, but I don't think he's stronger than Knuckles. Okay, Sonic characters are basically just animal versions of Dragon Ball Z characters. You really saying a big gorilla could beat the echidna version of Piccolo?
Yeah, bro. Sonic is Goku, Shadow is Vegeta, Knuckles is Piccolo. I don't know who Tails is. Tails is like a Krillin, I guess, because they're both kind of pussies. So, yeah. Character assassination, yay.
Okay, that's a bad comparison. But my point is, bananas!
Why is there no gorilla Sonic character? I just noticed that. What character from Sonic is a gorilla? None.
Before this fight even came out, I thought this was about to be one of the best matches I've ever seen. I mean, Ben 10 and Green Lantern, they have potential. Ben with his giant library of different aliens that were always just hyped to see, like Heat Blast, Accelerate, Diamond Head, and the MVP Alien X, and then Hal Jordan's Green Lantern, one of the coldest characters in the Justice League. A man who can imagine and make anything from nothing with the power of his Green Lantern ring fueled by...
Yeah, he still uses his fucking ring to make a gun, a tank. I would make an iPhone with like 3,000 swords coming from the sides, and every time I click a button, the sword instantly tracks my enemy, slices their dick off and their neck off. If they're a girl, slices their pussy.
These two would have had a generational fight. It could have been amazing. Then come to its release, and the scrap between these two, it was just mid, man. When it came down to these two going toe-to-toe against one another, it's like they purposely made these two look so weak fighting each other. With Ben, don't get it twisted, I liked how they kept his cocky behavior and him chatting a bunch of shit to Hal. They caused personality right. But when it came to his use of the Omnitrix and breaking into his most overpowered form, Alien X, the guy didn't do shit, man. How is it that with Alien X jumping this guy in his force field, it took Green Lantern charging his ring with the lantern to just be able to shockwave all of the Alien X's out of there? They're not shadow clones. They shouldn't be disappearing like that. It doesn't make sense. They're their own versions of this.
God, and I just imagine like the annoying voice of like Wiz and Boom. Boom's like, Green Lantern is DC, therefore it's the best. Because hell yeah, America, bro. America, dude.
Same
America.
alien. It's like making two of yourself. That's how it is. And throughout the entire segment, Alien X was whooping him, thumping the guy. In fact, the whole fight was pretty much just Ben giving how...
In every death battle, if you see one character beat the other one up for a long time first, they're losing. It's just how it goes.
the business the whole time. He was running the fade with the guy, while Green Lantern was out here just trying to defend all his moves. This guy's a bitch. Green Lantern throughout the fight just looked weak. Even Death Battle didn't want to help him beat those allegations. This man is always getting a humiliation ritual everywhere. But somehow, due to bullshit, they want to give him the win. And how, you may ask? How did Hal, even though he was getting flung around like Shadow did to Knuckles in Sonic 3, how did he beat Alien X? Simple. He gets the biggest arse pull and cuts Ben's arm off with green scissors. Get out of here, man! This is where Death Battle made a major critical error in their decision. Because in the beginning of the fight, Hal couldn't just go ahead and grab the Omnitrix off Ben due to it having some sort of defense mechanism. Nobody can just yak the watch off the guy, not even when he's sleeping. Otherwise, it releases a sort of energy blast that protects the user. They even show you that in the beginning of the fight. But then in the end, how does...
But he didn't even... the thing is, Hal didn't touch Ben's watch in the end. That's how he won the battle. I'm not saying I support Hal winning, but... that's just what happened. Beginning
of the fight. But then in the end, how does Hal time traveling back to the moment they met help him carve Ben's arm with scissors? When it just wouldn't be able to do that. Was the AI sleeping or something? This is why I hate robots. The defense mechanism designed into the Omnitrix would have either done the whole energy blast that happens when someone tries to touch the Omnitrix again, or it would instantaneously switch him into an alien that would protect him from any threat that is being perceived.
No, it wouldn't.
Eve to me is basically freedom. It's a giant open universe where you can do whatever you want. You can have really
like Goop or Diamond Head or the greatest alien on his roster, the worst. Yes, it's actually called that. In Death Battle's own words, they even brought up the fact that to survive the Big Bang, the watch turned Ben into feedback so he could absorb the energy. And now when it comes to the fight, you want to go back on your word and change your minds later on. What the hell are we doing here? You can't just introduce one thing and then go back on it later. That's not how it works. In Green Lantern's case, he only won because of a cheap shot anyway. He was getting finessed by Alien X the entire time, then went back in time and cut Ben's arm off, with also stopping him to death. He killed a kid. That's crazy. When really and truly, what would have happened is I'm 99% sure a multiversal alien god being who duplicated the universe unconsciously would maybe, I don't know, follow you into the time stream and
Okay, he did duplicate a universe, but Ben did that when he was older, not when he was a child. They're putting Hal Jordan up against child, man.
kill you before you do that shit. Surely that would have happened, right? It's not like he wouldn't know you would pull the exact same move as him right after he did that shit to you. Green Lantern even said thanks for the idea before doing it, showing him that he was gonna do that shit. What? Let me tell you something, Death Battle. I'm not playing these games. Ben Tennyson is the same teen who flipping absorbed the Big Bang and shot it against another man, beat another celestial sapient in combat, and can later on in his adult life fuse aliens together, creating combinations that are just disgusting to even talk about. He literally has a fusion between Atomics, an alien that possesses nuclear energy, and Alien X. I don't know what type of crossbreeding this is, but the potential that alien has is sick. I'm not saying that Ben should have 1,000,000% had the win. Knowing comic book superheroes in general, Green Lantern most definitely has a bunch of stupid feats that would undeniably make him overpowered. But it's the way they decided to undermine and underestimate Ben's capabilities to the point where they wanted to paint him as weaker, but Ben was objectively winning? I'm confused. I'm confused right now, G. They even said Ben is playing catch up because of having Master Control, which is false. Because Master Control brings instantaneous switching. It's like Boogie Woogie. It will change instantly to whatever alien is on his mind in the moment. So there's infinite potential what he could do to Hal and how he could change scenarios. Whereas with Green Lantern, he'd have to imagine up his constructs in the first place, which takes more time to decide and brain power than what it takes for Ben to switch aliens. They played this fight out as if Ben was the decided winner to begin with. They put Hal on the defensive 99% of the time, then give him a win by the end of it when there was no chance of him winning at all throughout the whole fight. It doesn't make any sense. Why even play out like this? You should have just let Ben get finesse if that's how you really felt. Exactly, honestly, bro. It's just like the fight was wasted. You put two characters who could have had the chance to have one of the coldest one-on-ones in fiction. And the way you want the guy to win was by a cheap shot. You could have had Hal pull some multiversal comic bullshit and people would have been more satisfied with that outcome than by what you actually chose. You made them both look like chumps. I don't even want to stay on this one for too long because it's genuinely heartbreaking. Ben should have won, man. You know you're wrong for this. I swear to God.
It's the worst death battle.
I was always quite scared of the bigger boys in the gym. You can hear them before you see them. They, you know those ones? They scream.
I swear to God, you man can just tell me the truth.
I will say this now. My nigga. Bardock vs. Omni-Man was the worst. The worst ever. They made Omni-Man be a Saiyan who could transform into Super Saiyan 3. And before you say anything about Bardock, no, he can't turn into a Super Saiyan 3. Yes, the fuck he can. Look at Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. No, but that's a game, it doesn't count. Yes, the fuck it does, because Death Battle always counts more than one media inside of when they do power scaling.
You know, you're sponsored by the Frieza Force, aren't you? Because this fight was just rigged, man. I know Frieza wrote this script as well. You can come out now. I see you, man. I see you in the back. Now, at the time of when I decided to go and watch the fight on YouTube, I'll be completely 110% honest there. I didn't know shit when it came to this fight, man. I'll be real. I mean this as if when it came down to the invisible part of the analysis, I've only watched the animated series. I haven't read the comics in particular to understand their whole argument for Omni-Man's case. So it's not something I could necessarily disagree with at the time. But in my heart, in my soul, in my core, I knew there was something wrong with this fight. And to no surprise, there actually is a couple of things. They brought up that Omni-Man was able to destroy Viltrum by speed blitzing through its core.
Waves, if you see this and you have a PS5, 1v1 me in Xenoverse 2, I will smoke you.
But forgot to mention, it wasn't just Omni-Man who did that. Mark helped him alongside another Viltrum, and another guy before that used a destabilizing gun to make the whole thing even possible. Otherwise, they would have just rammed into it and broken their whole entire body like some dickhead. And the craziest thing about this feat is that they purposely didn't want to acknowledge it took 3 guys to do the job. They moved like Omni-Man was the only person capable of destroying Viltrum. And the feat they decided to compare that to was giving Bardock equal scaling to King Vegeta, a man who easily destroyed a solar system with the flick of the wrist. But then it took 3 guys and a gun to do what a fraction of what King Vegeta could do easily. It doesn't add up here. The second thing I want to bring up, which is my biggest takeaway on this fight, is Super Saiyan Bardock. How did Super Saiyan Bardock lose? Do these guys understand the power levels of Dragon Ball Z characters? If Roshi, with a power level of near 100, can destroy the moon, Piccolo easily doing the same with a power level barely over 1,000, and you mean to tell me Bardock in his base has a power level of 10k, and Super Saiyan raises those stats 50 times?
Bro, even a Great Ape would kill Omni-Man. Because Great Apes are fast.
Higher, meaning his power level here was at least 500k. How was he not clearing the man in the end? I can understand how Bardock is an inexperienced Super Saiyan, which means his power is definitely draining quicker than it should be. But that shouldn't take away from the boost he would get, giving him the significant advantage. Super Saiyan Bardock is at least planetary with power on par to First Form Frieza, who destroyed the whole of planet Vegeta with a supernova. And like I stated before, Omni-Man was barely able to destroy a planet by himself. That's weak! If we're comparing Viltrumites to Saiyans in general, guys, remember something. Saiyans will be sent to different planets as babies to take over and conquer, whereas Viltrumites will be expanding their empire by sending over all. Whoa. It's like it takes one kid Saiyan to do what a grown-ass Viltrumite could do. Do I believe that Viltrumite could take over a planet at a much younger age? Yeah, but they haven't proceeded to show that, so it doesn't count here. And something I noticed when watching Invincible is that Viltrumites get popped easy. Maybe the strength gap between them is so strong that their durability doesn't really apply as much anymore. But when Viltrumites literally fight one another, they pop out their entire guts. You can see their whole stomach spill out, splitting their heads in half like they're nothing, pummeling them like they were never that strong to begin with. And to compare, I've never seen a Saiyan take the same amount of damage. Never. Not even if their strength gap between them was insane. The most they would come out with might be that they're hella wounded, bleeding, or lost a limb. It's never their whole body getting disfigured and done out. So with this durability in mind, how can Omni-Man do so much more damage to Bardock than Bardock could do to him? Involving Ki in the conversation too, Saiyans naturally have a high destructive power. They finesse others and each other with just Ki blasts alone. Now you're saying Omni-Man can just deflect all of that like it was nothing, and even just throw away Super Saiyan Bardock's one-on blast attack like it wouldn't do any damage to him anyway. What? I'm not even bringing up how he used Great Ape in the fight, which is more than enough to even take out Omni-Man. Great Ape Bardock would have stomped him. He has a power level of like 100k. What is this? And it's not like Bardock is a berserker Great Ape and can't control the form. He can control it as it's shown in the Dragon Ball Super manga when he's looking for granola. So he's not just a mindless brute. The fight just wasn't scaled properly to meet up with all of Bardock's capabilities. They kind of just gave Omni-Man the edge for no reason.
My chiropractor got arrested. What did he get arrested for? Thank you so much for asking. For putting camera.
Saying he's faster, stronger, has something called smart items, which I'm not going to go into because I don't know shit about that. And even stated themselves that they won't look at Omni-Man destroying a planet with help properly. So was this take bias or something? They admitted it right here. Bro. Like I said before, I don't really have that much information on Viltrumite to begin with. I read up somewhere that the solar disc feat that they tried to bring up was some bullshit as well, because it's not comparable to a Viltrumite or something. But I know Dragon Ball, and Bardock should have scaled way higher than what Death Battle 4 he could do. They undermined him once again to give Omni-Man the win. I ain't trusting this. They gave Homelander the power to make Omni-Man bleed, knowing damn well nobody from the boys universe could ever do that shit, let alone the Milkman. So I knew this take on Bardock was a little cop-out.
Nigga, bro, it's a comic feat. Homelander screams are from the comics. They just mix them together.
I've always seen it go like this. If we're comparing some of the strongest people in comics and fiction, it was always to me. If I had to rank them, Kryptonians at the 1, Saiyans at the 2, recently Viltrumites at the 3, and whatever the hell Homelander is at 4.
I'm saying Saiyans are at number 1 because Kryptonians, they get weak when they go under a red sun. And Saiyans don't get weak under any kind of sun, so that's why I'd say.
It's like this shows you the gap between one another and lets you know who would debatably be more powerful in the moment. At least that's how I viewed it. And this fight was just a little underwhelming. I think the concept to it was sick, but when it came down to bringing up facts, it was kind of one-sided. Bardock should have won, man. I'm not tripping. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring up the last death battle that hurt my soul when I watched it. Something that makes me itch. Something that didn't sit right with me and gets me angry every time I think about it. And the evidence I even got to back up my claims here will show you that is just some bullshit, man. And the final fight for this video is... Now this...
Not Goku vs Superman.
Eve to me is basically freedom.
Holy
it's a
fucking
giant
tired.
open universe where...
Alright, yo, I'm finna go bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. Yo, it is so sunny. I'm so fucking tired. Yo, guys, I'm gonna fall asleep on stream if I don't.
Now this fight...
But go show support to your boy Wavy. Thank you. Alright, yeah, I'll be right back, guys. Oh my god.
This should be fun.